The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn. It is great to be back. We did take a month off unexpectedly, but for very important reasons. I just want everyone to know that was wondering what was going on. Thank you for caring. I'm always here for you guys all the time, and over the 13 years I've never really taken more than 2 weeks at a time as a time off, and this time I did take the month. I really needed it for some rejuvenation, some healing. I had lost a very dear friend that passed away at the beginning of April, very unexpected, so I just needed to take that self-care time for myself. I have to practice what I preach to you guys, and so when you see me not here, it's because that's what I'm doing. I need to rejuvenate and heal so I can come back. Today I feel absolutely fantastic. When I tapped in with my angels about should I do this or not, it seemed like a long time to be gone unexpectedly. They were saying, you've got to do this. You need this. And so I did. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being understanding about that, because we're a group, where, life is changing. We are feeling it like crazy. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. And one of the quotes that I found while I was working on putting this show together was from Buddha, a sage, an ancient sage from many, many, many thousands of years ago. And it was about quiet the mind and then your soul will speak. And I get this question a lot. And I get this from many people that have been following the show for years or brand new. And if you're on this spiritual journey path, the mind is a completely different thing from your soul, your heart, your intuition, your connection that is that spark of the universe, that connection that we are part of this, where we co-create. And your mind is part of the physical. Your mind is important. I'm not saying it isn't. But that is that repetitive, overanalyzing side of us, that part that only really knows the data that has been programmed with. And we create brand new things from our soul, from our heart, from everything that is not from the mind. So they go hand in hand, and that's the ultimate goal is for them to work together. But the wisdom, he knew it. Buddha knew it. He understood it. You see it through the Tao Te Ching writings too, and that's over 4,000 years old. So they're all throughout the years. The universe has been there. The angels support us in that knowledge of that. And everything is there for us. And the part that questions and feels like we have to keep asking and keep making sure we're good is the mind, not the soul. So when I saw that, it was just the most beautiful, freeing, uplifting, and I'm just sharing that with you because I did a lot of my own personal journey and deep search with my own spirituality and my deepening of my growth, and that's what I did for the month. And I actually feel like a completely different person than I did a month ago. So the whole thing was all meant to be, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. So I wanted to give you that because I'm like, you know, just, I don't like to just disappear, but it was necessary. Sometimes we've been through some hail. Since I've been here, we've been through some serious lightning storms. We were only a couple of hours from one of the very serious tornadoes. The ones in Florida and Virginia. One of them was only a couple hours from us where we live now, and the other one was like 2 miles from where we used to live. So I was like, whoa. So it's just that era of like, wow, this world is just no joke. So it's been an interesting month for all us in April, you know, and I'm sure you've had yours too. So now we're in Taurus season. Okay, but we are going to talk about this eclipse that happens tomorrow. That's a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And it's got some interesting energy to it. It's probably one of the powerhouses of the month. But the whole energy forecast for May is what we're going to do today and get on track here, because it's on the 5th of May. That's the 5th. There's an alignment with that. That number in numerology is all about change and transformation. Scorpio is about going deep and making major changes. So you may be feeling on the cusp of them. You may be feeling that they're already in progress. You've been feeling like this has been going on. And there's also this part that wakes us up and sees, oh my gosh, that's what I've been looking for. And it's it's all part of it. And we're all part of collaborating really with the universe to create and manifest. So this is about manifesting. It's about that spiritual law of attraction here today. It's about Jupiter, the planet of expansion that goes out of out of Aries into Taurus in May. So I'm going to go through all these different highlights of May, and then how the angels are supporting us with that. This is a message for everyone. This is a message from the angels for all. But one of the biggest things that touched my heart was the big reminder from the angels was, if you have something that's stressing you or worrying you, that's going to come from the mind, not your heart, your soul. Your soul's not worried about any of that. The universe isn't worried about, and here's the thing, the universe has all the answers for that, where our mind is limited. The mind is limited. It only knows what it's been programmed or trained or what it's already experienced. It really does. It's not where creation or invention or anything comes from. So all those inventors and all those artists and all those creators out there, and everybody has that potential within them, whether you see yourself that way or not, that comes from the infinite source of energy, the universe. That comes from the all-knowing. It comes from that spot that everything's been created from, not from the mind repeating and fretting about, well, what if and what if? Because the mind's what worries about the past and the future and even the present, not the heart, not the soul. So a little tip from the angels, and one of the greatest things that I remind myself of daily that is so helpful, is when you've got something bothering you or stressing you. And we are going through big transformative times now. So there's a lot going on, and you don't get caught up in all the things you're seeing out there. Yes, that's part of it, but that's also part of 3D. That's just, according to metaphysics and 5D living, fifth dimension living, and going into the higher frequency, 3D living is what we knew, with all the fear and all the, oh my gosh, and all the chaos and all the crazy. We don't have to live that way. 5D's already here. So I'm all about moving you into that, or helping you find it, or if you choose to. If this isn't for you, then move on. I'm not here to try to convince anybody. I'm here to show you what's made a huge difference for me, and I'm sharing that. And if it's not for you, then that's fine. Then move on. We're not keeping you here. But I'm here to draw in the people that want this, and the message is for the people that are drawn to this. So if you're here, you're obviously drawn to this. But yeah, when you see that, or any of those things are fretting you, you know that's your mind. That's that repetitive, just keep redundantly thinking things over and over. Then go to your heart. Focus on your heart. And another way to focus on your heart or your soul, where your soul or your higher self is, higher self, it's called so many different things, is you want to look for that space where it's in between. For example, in Japa meditation, that's a wonderful example. You have a thought, then you have, maybe it's written out as a sentence, then you have a space, and then you have another thought. What you want to do is, okay, there's a thought, there's a space, there's a thought. Now go back to the space in between. That space in between is where you want to be. That's it. However that works for you. It's like the in-between part where it doesn't look like there's anything. And what does that do? The mind's scrambling to try to anchor to another thought, right? Well, you don't. Go back to the space. It's great. It's weird at first, and you have to do it a lot, but I encourage you to give it a go. Doesn't cost you one dime. I am generously giving and sharing that. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I just want to help you, and that's what I'm here to do. So let's get into this, and I want to welcome everybody that's showing up. Hello and welcome to everybody. I've missed you guys so much. I so have missed you. Yes, and you guys, I love you, love you, love you. So let's talk about this, okay? So first of all, in astrology, we're already in the eclipse portal, okay? It started with the solar eclipse a couple of weeks ago. So every time you have a solar, a couple of weeks later, you'll have the lunar eclipse. It all falls together like that in astrology. And eclipse season always heightens whatever energy is around that lineup, you know, the alignment of whatever's going on. So with this one, it's also heightening transformative times. So it's transformative energy to help you shift and kind of give you that kickstart you need to get into that next phase of your life, that next chapter. So that's on May 5th. Tomorrow we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Scorpio is a deep sign. It's about deep healing. It's about, no joke, real serious deep stuff there. That's what Scorpio does. But it helps us really get there, get to the root, the truth. So you might feel a little more sensitive. You might feel emotions a little bit deeper around this one. Don't be hard on yourself. Just acknowledge them. And if you get, like I said, if you get caught up in that fretting and worrying, remember, that's your mind. And then find that space in between. And how we, you know, you may also, you know, how you really feel about the direction you're going. So let's go into this. Now, the affirmation that we can work with on this topic is, I trust my intuition to guide me in all ways, in everything you do. When you wake up, acknowledge, hey, let's lead the way with my heart today. Let's make decisions there. Anything second guessing or feels weird, you're looking for the, when you feel peace, when you ask yourself the same question from your heart, and that feels right, that's the answer you're looking for, not the one that the mind goes, yes or no, or Mind's so limited. Why limit yourself when there's an unlimited universe out there with pretty much all the answers you're looking for? So here we are in the eclipse portal. Now, it's highly transformative, like I said. This means it's going to indicate some sort of shift or next chapter for all of us, okay? It's looking for how we can move into that next chapter, how we can move forward. That's the natural movement of energy. It doesn't stay stagnant. It doesn't want to go backwards. So you don't want to be stuck in the past. And here's the thing. You don't have to forget your memories. You just don't want them to hold you in this stuck place, you know, right now or moving forward, or afraid to make a choice. That's the goal. Now, we also have Mercury. This is the fun part. We have Mercury and Pluto that are in retrograde too, okay? They went into retrograde on May 1st. Now, those are two powerful retrogrades. Mercury, we know, is about communications. So, you know, you hear all about Mercury retrogrades if things are confusing or misunderstood. A lot of times we just don't make final decisions in Mercury retrograde. Pluto is more of out with the old, in with the new. But a retrograde between these two, that's a good thing. Why? because it's going to help us take a moment and reflect and review, and we'll be more clear about our decisions when they come out of retrograde. The other cool part about this one is we have Jupiter. Jupiter, the expansion planet and a planet of abundance and optimism. Yes, we could use some of that, right? That's moving into Taurus. So it'll be in Taurus for 12 months. It's moving out of the Aries energy and into Taurus. And so that is right there. For a whole year, we're going to be having Jupiter in Taurus. Now, why? What does that mean? Taurus is about finances, self-worth, stability, security, things like that. Taurus is a grounded sign. It's anchoring in. So it may put a spotlight on finances. It might put it on the collective finances, like what's going on out in the financial industry. We kind of see some interesting things going on there. Don't let that cause you to fret and worry. 5D isn't about that, neither is the soul. You want to connect there for the answers on what to do next. And here's the thing, guys, that's so important to hear right now, because you could go, what do I do? What do I do? Or you could go looking and you're listening to all this whatever is out there and it causes more worry. That's not the direction. That's 3D. We don't want to go backwards, remember? We don't want to go backwards. So you're looking for the answers that's right for you. So the answer that's right for you, it's going to come from your heart, your soul, your connection. And that's what I want to really re-emphasize, and that's what the angels have told me to really push today. Like, don't forget to remind them of that. Because there's people out there that can advise you, and you can absolutely do that. I'm not saying don't listen to them, but if it's not setting right with you, you need to go deeper and ask yourself a little bit further, like, does that feel right to me or not? Self-worth, self-confidence, believing in yourself is very, very important. We've been talking about that for a few years. We're really starting to live it and why we need that now. So yes, it's a little bit more like the angels are like, yeah, we need to be really trusting that intuition we have inside of ourselves, not somebody else's intuition. And I know I'm saying that even though I do readings where I really believe my goal should be helping you trust your own intuition more than just listening to what I'm saying about, here's the reading for you. And I can do that. But right now, I feel like the priority is to help you feel like you can do that, because you can. And some people don't trust it. And that would be what I would work on as a priority. And that is a very strong message I get from angels to give to you. And it's been really... And they want me to trust it for myself as well. So, and at more depth. And like, what can I learn from all of this? That's what you want to be, what you want to be asking for yourself. So, but Jupiter brings a lot of optimism, expansion, opportunity for abundance, yes, and law of attraction. Because what we focus on, and what does that mind want us to focus on? See, you want to pull it back out of there again. So what is the focus? Because what we focus on turns into thoughts and beliefs, and that's what because like attracts like, you've heard that before. In law of attraction, whatever it is we're focusing on is more of what we'll see in our world. Everybody deserves the best of the best, okay? But we have to practice working on that like focus. And so I'm not saying you won't think of things and things will start to do that to you. They happen to me all the time, every day. And I just go, nope, not going there. We're going to go over here and practice it this way. And I have to do it a lot too. So when I say all this to you, I truly believe it, because when I do it, it's amazing. And when I forget to do it, it's getting easier to catch it because I keep practicing it. So don't give up. Don't give up on that. Now, at the Jupiter part this is the part where Jupiter can be about indulgence too. So we want to make sure we're looking for abundance. It's not just like, oh, I want $1 million. It's not like that. Abundance comes in many, many forms. And what we want is, you know, you could have that, but are you going to be happy with it? You know, you want to think about that. You want to look at what's the overall basic energy you want to live. You want to live happy. You want to live like all your needs are met. The universe will provide all your needs met. Do you believe it? Are you not sure? That's where you want to get out of the mind choices to the heart choices. The mind just frets. It frets. It worries. It wants to make a problem before it even happens. It wants to, well, what if it doesn't work? Yeah. And then what do? You don't do anything. And then you wonder why it's stuck. That's just how it works. It does that to me too. It's happened. So that's all part of it. So let me go a little bit more into each one of these. Now on May 1st, that's when Pluto went retrograde in Aquarius. So we're going to be in that for a bit. So what does that mean? And this all happened just a few days ago. So let's talk about Pluto in retrograde. That's in Aquarius. So it enters a retrograde. Pluto does that once a year. And this one is a little bit significant as far as it's the first one it's made in Aquarius. So, I mean, Pluto entered Aquarius earlier, but then it went back into Capricorn. And this was like, now it's more going back into Aquarius. And now it's likely that you'll see more Aquarius energy intensified or amplified, or however you want to say that. You're going to see the technology. It's going to be a lot of things around currency, money, power. We're seeing that. That's pretty obvious. That, yeah, for sure. We're also looking at a personal level. It's subtle. It might be that you're stepping out from behind the door and coming out and being seen, you know, like coming out into the light. And you're going to find that it's innovative and it wakes up creativity juices. And that, I really kind of like Aquarius energy. Don't be afraid of technology, just learn. Knowledge is power. You know, there's a lot of technology out there and you're seeing all kinds of stuff going on back and forth, like, oh, it's good, oh, it's horrible. I don't know all the answers to it, but I know that I like to be aware, but I don't want to be fretting about it. That's what you don't want to get caught in. So you will see where we're going to make major advancements and different shifts like that. So now also, May 1st, Mercury retrograde went, you know, into its little phase there. And this is also about information revealed, insights, just kind of like, because it went conjunct with the sun is what they call it in astrology. So it's a little bit more of a highlighting clarity. So there's more clarity with this one, which is interesting because it's a communication. Usually retrogrades make it confusing, but it actually wants to help you clarify and go, oh, okay, I get it now. So when you go from mind thinking to your heart, your soul, your spirit, your higher self, it sees things from the bigger picture, the universe, the way the universe sees our potential, the way the angels see and want to support our potential. So there's really good reason to work with this. And we live in a physical world, yes. But you don't want just all of that fear driving your decisions. If fear is driving your decisions, that's something you want to question, because that's the old way of doing it. I know. It's there for a reason, for life or death situations, but not to be constantly freezing you and you're stuck and you're afraid to change anything in your life that you know is just not working anymore. That's what I'm talking about. So tomorrow we have the full moon lunar eclipse. This is the standout. This is the big one for really the big one for the month. This one holds some pretty strong energy to trigger deeper feelings and emotions. So reminding you of that. It's also, you might feel extra sensitive. Don't be hard on yourself. Just be aware. It's tapping you into it's kind of just exposing some of the stuff that maybe you need to understand a little bit better about yourself. So you might feel the emotional state a little more heightened, more sensitive to topics, but they're triggering for a reason. That might be where some healing is. But here you go. It doesn't mean you have to figure out why. You just need to let it go. You don't have to worry about all that. Like, you know, this is making me feel weird, you know. Deeper thoughts from the subconscious. You might have some really crazy dreams. You might find that you're being led to clear, release. Just work on whatever comes up and just say, you know what, enough's enough. That was in the past. I don't need this anymore. I want to move on and let it go. You can do that from the soul, the heart, okay? Not from the mind. The mind will just keep doing a rewind, right? So just reminding you of that. I know the angels were really strong about me making sure I was repeating that today. They keep going, don't forget it. I know. It's just that way, you know. It's important, and I can see how it's important because it's been important for me too, and I've been working with this. And I feel completely different just working with it for a few weeks now. And it helped to just pull away from everything that was a distraction out there. And you're gonna see me in social media, but not much. Guys, if you really, and I truly encourage you to reach out on my website through the contact form. Just say, hey, it's me, you know. Don't worry about that. You will get through. I'm not really using social media much for communications anymore. I'm pulling back so I can see clearly too. I put the show out there so you know I'm doing one, but I'm not really using all the private chats and all that in there anymore. I've actually closed down a couple of the social media accounts. I may close more. I want to focus more on the website and putting the information out this way with you. I just want to narrow that focus down and make that better instead of feeling like it has to go in 50 directions. And then you get distracted by a million different things out there. So that's just where I am right now. So just know that my website is the best way to reach out if you have questions or if you have anything you want to, you know, ask. Okay? So we're also working on building an area in the website that would be great for more of our own interactions like you would do out there in social media. So that's what we're working on to fine-tune that so it's easy and it's enjoyable and things like that. So now this is also, this Scorpio lunar eclipse, it's transformative. So it's, you know, the veil might be thinner. It's bringing change. It's allowing higher realms. You can reach and connect. So even though this is taking us into some sensitivity areas, sometimes we go, oh, I don't want to be emotionally sensitive. But you know, that side of us that is actually a side that can connect with the angels a lot easier. And once I realized that, because I was a super sensitive, man, let me tell you, you know, anybody that went to school with me growing up, they knew I cried every other minute, and I was just super sensitive. But I also was connected. And now I realize, well, it's kind of like the double-edged sword, but at the same time I started focusing on the connection was so valuable to me. I can work with that and work with those emotions and just let them channel into something more positive, and that's what I've done over my lifetime. So just know that if you're empathic, it doesn't have to put you in a box. It does not. It doesn't. So you want to stay tuned here for that, because this is a cool eclipse. Eclipse energies usually last several months, and they're heightened. It's stronger. So you really might find that it supports you in a major shift that you want to do in your own personal life. You're going to see changes out there for all of us in the collective, out there in the world. Big ones. They're already going on. But you're also going to feel on a personal level like, yeah, I'm really ready to shift it up. And I am too. That's what I'm talking about when I'm kind of pulling back from some of that, and I want to focus and build something that is for what people want from me and not be jumbled up in everything else. So I've never been a big fan of all that distraction. I like to focus. I take all of this very seriously, and it's a passion for me. So that's what I'm just putting it out there and letting you know. I will still put them here, but just so you know that. Now on May 9th, this is where the sun will have what's called a conjunct with Uranus. So The Sun and Uranus, they align, and that unlocks really cool waves of innovation. I like this part too. Innovation, creativity, freedom. This is the opportunity to think outside the box and beyond what you know, like look past the horizon part. I like that. So this is where you might feel more open to new ideas, or you might experience an awakening or a aha moment, or you're ready. Okay, now I'm ready to make the changes. Go. You might have been thinking about a change for a really, really long time, maybe even years, and now you're ready to do it, and you're just like, that's it, I want to do it. So if you know, this is an opportunity to make the changes that you've been wanting to do if you want to. You have free will, remember, this isn't going to force anybody. But, you know, everybody's always in that search of happiness and the happy life and the abundant, and they think, okay, once I do this, I'll be happy. Happiness is a choice, but when we can choose, and when you really realize that you have so much co-creation, empowerment, if you just tap into it and connect with the universe on that and work as a co-creator, your life just takes on a whole new meaning, and the potential's unlimited. So that's what I'm trying to tell you here. This law of attraction abundance thing, it comes in many forms. Your happiness is not just on what's in your bank account. Of course that helps, I understand that. But it really is more, money is just an energy. It's an energy exchange. So when we start to work with the energy and just quit thinking about all the detail part that the mind keeps fretting about, it comes back to you the way it needs to come back to you. We may not know how it needs to come back to us for a year or two. You might find that your intuition tells you, do this and do that. And it's like, that seems so strange. I've had this happen before many times, and I have taken the leap, and I'm going, gosh, I don't know. But then some of them are quick, like within a day or a month or a year, and some are like several years. But I look back and I go, boy, am I glad I did that. And you realize. So trusting intuition is interesting if you're new at it. And if you don't trust it at all, that's where it can feel stressful. So I'm just letting you know that working on trusting yourself and self-care and feeling that empowerment is important. It's very important. I feel like it's one of the most important things that I could help you or find a way to help you find the way that works for you. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I do it. Nobody's the same. So you want to feel with that on May 9th, you're looking for, Uranus can bring unexpecteds, or like, wait a minute, it's feeling a bit weird. This isn't working anymore. It's feeling a little unstable. You want to pay attention to things that feel like that, or just uncertain, or where it's just not fitting anymore. It just doesn't work. Like maybe it did a month ago or 5 years ago, but just doesn't anymore. You're feeling that you're shifting and changing, and sometimes that depresses people, and they get upset about, oh no, what's wrong with me? Nothing. You're growing. You're ready for something new and fresh. That's what I want you to hear. It's up to you. You can take it or leave it. But this is where you're looking for more freedom, innovation, and change. This is what this energy is about. This is a big month. This is a transformative month. It's just each one of these lineups is boosting something else. On May 14th, that's when Mercury comes out of retrograde and goes direct. So it stations direct in Taurus on May 14. And after being in retrograde, and it's been in retrograde since April 21st, it's a good 3 weeks of that when it does that. So it's going to go, you're going to feel more like, okay, now I have insights about my productivity, my self-worth. I feel like I can progress now toward my goals. I have a little bit more clarity on how my relationship with money can be better, how I can improve it, how I can maybe stop doing this and start doing that, things like that. you're going to work with getting a plan together. Taurus is good for that. It's very grounded, and it's, you know, it likes a structure, like, okay, let's work this out and let's just change this and improve the way we're approaching this. And here's the thing. What you used to do might have been just fine in work, but as we grow and we shift and the world's changing, we're going from 3 to 5D here, and the world's changing and all the structure and industry is changing, we might need to update how we approach it too. That's what I'm saying here. So this helps you figure that out. Mercury takes time to get back into a regular speed there, so it'll move a little slow, but then gradually get there, and then you'll know what you want to do. So now let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter, May 14 to 21, that's when Jupiter is, it's called square with Pluto. And that's an opportunity to step into a brand new empowerment feeling. That's just, I love Jupiter energy. It's just like, yeah, here we go. It does create, you might feel a little bit of tension with this one at first, because it's asking you to rise up and step out of your box and your comfort zone and go head on with new challenges and expand what you thought you could achieve. So it's like a coach that it's like, okay, let's take it to the next level. If you look at it that way, because you might feel that, ooh, I'm nervous, this is new. It's like when you remember when you went to high school from the first time, and it's like, oh no, you're going up, or you go to college, it's nerve-wracking, it's that first day at work or something like that. It's like that to me. This is the way I understand it. And so if your alignment, if you feel that this Jupiter with Pluto is kind of pushing you that way, it's wanting to show you have greater potential than you realize. So look at it that way. I like that part. And there's a sense of, okay, if I work a little bit harder here, I'm going to see some results for my effort, And of course, we keep our balance with self-care, but I mean, put some effort into something that you want. If this is like, oh gosh, I got this opportunity, but I'm nervous, give it a go. And you know what? Don't let perfectionism get in the way. Guess where that redundant thing comes from? The mind. You don't have to, you want to put some effort there. The universe will support you. The angels support you. Trust me, they do. You don't even have to keep asking every day. You just need to know and believe they're there all the time. And the universe is. You just want to be clear that you want to be a part of it too. And you may have to remind yourself of that if you get discouraged one day, or if it goes, awry. Because it happens. As we practice, it gets easier. Just get back up there and start again. And don't quit. Just don't quit. There's a sense here that hard work will result in a payoff there. So Jupiter square Pluto, it can feel a little, because it's doing that, and it kind of brings this tension of like, oh, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know anything about it. It can make you feel powerless at first, but that's not what we want to look at. We want to look at that. Do you see what I'm saying? It can feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. That's a little over my head. It's challenging you to try to expand on that and see what you can do. You might not know you can. Of course it would feel like that at first. So that's what I want you to see in that. So if it feels, ooh, I don't know, it's asking you to go head on with it and see what you're capable of. We're capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. That's the point here. There's a lot of empowerment that can come from challenging yourself to try something new, coming out of that comfort zone and giving it a go. If that resonates with you, if you feel inspired to regain some strength and confidence, this can do that. So that's the positive here. But it can feel at first a little like, ooh, I'm nervous. Just see it for what it is. See it for what it is. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about, on May 16th, there's a couple of things. First off, we have what's called, there's a star. It's a very special star in astrology called Algol. It's Algol. It's kind of a weird name. But sometimes it moves through, and it's like more linked to Medusa, you know, the myth of Medusa. And that can sound like, oh no, and if you had like a bad taste, like Medusa is bad, this isn't really about being bad. This is more about the essence of it. It's about finding your strength and power. It's about, no matter what changes in your life, how you can find your strength and power through it. And sometimes, you know, when they associate it to the mythology of Medusa, it comes out going, ugh, you know, that's that scary thing. But it's not really about that. It's more about moving through these different chapters of our life and growing, not getting pushed backwards. Growing through it. I know, that one's kind of a foreign one to a lot. You don't hear about that very much, but I wanted to point it out. Also on the same day, May 16, we have Jupiter entering Taurus. Okay, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but let's say this is one of the biggest shifts of the year. Yay, because it will really bring in the earthy grounded. It will be there for about a year. And I mean, it's a creature of, you know, get organized. It gives, you know, get ready to do things, and it will amplify lessons for us. It's a planet that will help us grow and understand law of attraction, what we are drawing. Now, one side of this grounded Taurus is, you know, it has that reputation for being stubborn. It also likes to not go fast or pushed. It you know, it can feel like, I don't know, I feel a little insecure about making that choice, things like that. That is a creature of habit that doesn't like the change so much, but here it is. When Jupiter comes through here, it's encouraging you to, like, you know, let's get out of your own zone there and go explore and see what else is out there. You might like it. And Taurus is like, well, I don't know, I'm kind of comfortable here. Yeah, come on, we're gonna go. So Jupiter's really got some, let's go out there and see what we can do. And it's really bringing that energy here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. We'll see how that plays out. And then we have a Taurus new moon on May 19th. So that brings the end of the intensity of that eclipse portal that we're feeling right now. So while we're working through eclipses, you might feel it lingering a little bit, but the Taurus new moon also brings like a little bit of emotion and challenge there, but it will also guide you to embrace the simple things in life, appreciating a simpler life, a simple pleasure in life, just knowing that you know, can chill out in your own backyard or something like that, you know, something simple. Your attention to finances, you're getting organized, you're working on a budget because you want to align yourself with the abundance you do deserve. So this energy helps us if we're having some issues with that. Maybe there's just some bad spending habits that we want to stop, and we know we shouldn't do that, but you know, this helps us kind of give us that nudge to really get serious about it. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing how we spend our money. And here's the other thing about it. Whenever you have to pay a bill, you're paying on an asset. In law of attraction, you don't look at it as more lack. You look at, okay, well, I want to get all this paid off, but that's an asset that I'm working on that's going to return to me because it's an energy exchange with money. Okay, we spent that money on something, so just think about it that way in a different aspect to help you shift that. Now we have Mars on the 19th. We have Mars conjunct Pluto. There's another conjunct. That's a combination. That's a bit of a fiery combination between Pluto and Mars, because Pluto wants to just get rid of the old and bring in the new, you know, the death rebirth thing, and Mars is like, let's go do it, go go go. So it might feel a little aggressive that way. You might find that tensions are getting a little impatient, or you know, there might be that blow up thing, and you know, you might feel, people around you might feel a little more tense. So just know that this is an energy that's just pushing the envelope to work with this energy for productivity. It's to push, to drive productivity. It's also, you know what, enough's enough, I don't want that anymore, that kind of thing. So don't get caught up in somebody else's issues. Make sure you're with your own. Be careful not to absorb what's going on everywhere else. You want to be focusing on your own there. So the energy is, you can feel irritable because you know something needs to change and stop. That's the Pluto. This needs to go so we can bring something new in. Mars helps make that happen. That's literally what that's going to do. And so we can use that in a positive way. Just focus here, and everybody else has their own focus. We don't have to worry about all that. You want to be here. Remember, worry comes from the mind, right? All right. Now, May 21st, we're almost there. May 21st, it's a big month. That's when Gemini season begins. So now that we're moving out of that grounded Taurus and into the quick-wit signs of the twins there, you know, that's an air sign. That means we move into lower chakras. We move from the lower chakras to higher chakras. You're fueling creativity that you want to share. You know, it's more of a, you know, process there. It's more communication, working with your hands. It's all about recognizing that. You know, we have a physical body we want to acknowledge. It will let us know what it needs. I mean, we have to take care of it. It's our house that our soul lives in while we're here on earth. So we want to take care. You want to keep your maintenance up there. And it's, you know, remember with the Gemini twins, you got one that's the physical and one that's the other side of us, the mortal, the immortal. That's kind of what they represent, the body and the forever soul. So it's the combination of the two. They need to cohabitate together. So your soul lives here. You want your house to feel comfortable, right, that you live in, or where your home is. If your body is your home for your soul, you want to take good care of it. Self-care, again, we got that. So May 27 to 29, that's when the sun will square Saturn. So this Saturn moved into Pisces for the first time in like 28 years earlier this year. I don't know if you remember that from a few weeks ago. Now it creates a square that becomes challenging a little bit, but it's also to help us with things we've been putting off. Maybe we've been stalling. Maybe we've been waiting for that clarity. Well, Saturn in Pisces, it could be encouraging us to look at that. It could be wanting us to, like, what can we do with this energy here and what can we do differently? So if you look at, as we've been going through here, everything is about helping us move to the next chapter of our life. Now, one more, and this one you may never have heard of either. So kind of like throwing some of these new ones in so we can learn something new here. There's another star. This one is called a royal star. Aldebaran is the name. And the sun aligns with this one. And this in astrology activates a high frequency portal of energy. So you have, astrologers refer to it as the silver gate portal. You may have heard of it that way. But this one beams down and sharpens the mind, the intuition, increases the wisdom. Just connecting like that, you know. This one also is said to be the resting place for souls before they reincarnate back to Earth. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. This is all how astrology sees this, guys. That's what I'm sharing. And in this resting place, the soul has a chance to reflect on why it's coming back to Earth and what lessons they want to do and achieve. So I thought that was kind of a little cool tidbit to learn about today. But that's coming in on May 29th to 31st. This is more of a soul contract, higher self, like, why did you come here? You know, energy with that one. And that's what that one's about. So that's the lineup for May. I know. Crazy, right? So I want to go over and I want to say hello to who has joined me in the chat because I miss you guys. So hello, we have Journey to Becoming. It's good to see you. Thank you. I've missed you guys. And thank you for the support on with the break. I really felt like it was important, and I grew a lot. Now I can come back and share all the things I've been learning. So I thought that was pretty cool. So guys, on the website part, I want you guys to start going over there if you're interested in what I put out. I mean, start going over there, and I mean, you're not going to see a lot of new stuff now, but start getting familiar, because we want to create where that would be your hub if you want to come in and connect with each other. So we're going to work with that. We're looking into some technology that can help us basically create our own little community where you're not out there in the mixed chaos of everything else. So this is good, but I want to make it better as we are moving into 5D and all these different things, and we'll be able to talk with each other. We'll be able to do some live stuff over there. So I really want you guys to, it's not out there yet, but I want you to be familiar with the site, because that's where I want to put the focus. That's why I'm pulling down some of the other. It's just, why go into the chaos out there when I can do it right here? So that's what we're doing. That's what I feel led to do. That's what the angels are supporting me with. And that's what I feel energized to do. So I want you guys to know that's what's going on. I want to say hi to everybody. Thank you, Aunt Karen. Hi, Mashasha. Thank you for your love and support over last month. I love you, girl. Kelly, hello. And you just guys know that, and thank you for the support about my friend. My friend was in this too. I'm not going to go into any details or names or anything, because that's private, but was very unexpected. So I want everyone to know that it might feel like it's slowing down in one way that we work here. That's because the energy is being transformed into something that's going to work better for a community that wants to be together and support each other. That you could go in there anytime you want and connect with one another if you want. We can do some things that, and it'll just be a lot easier to answer and connect with you than it is this way. And I just want everyone to know that this is something we're working on, but there was a lot of bugs. There was a lot of glitches, and there was a lot of beta testing, and I'm like, oh, come on. I don't want to bring it in, and it's frustrating. I'm just polishing. So we want to work with that. And that's the goal. So I'm just letting Spirit and my heart lead the way here and let me know when and where. This channel is not going anywhere. This is going to be here. But we might be doing some of that live stuff over there. So that's why I want you to be familiar with it and letting you know. So I just want to say thank you guys for... I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for this community. I want this community to feel free to speak, not feel like you can't say anything because we're out there in this, and there is a lot of, there's just a lot of, it's just weird out there. And some of them don't want it, so we don't need to be, feeling like that. So I just want you to know, I'm not having any problems here. Everything's been fine here, where we're doing live right now. I just want to make it better. I want to make it feel like you're coming to a beautiful home where you're very welcome, and there's support, and there's love, and there's high frequency energy. Because we can do that there. That's where I'm thinking about that. So yeah, it's a passion. It's a lot. And it's just, we're figuring it out, right? We're figuring it out. So I'm going to let you guys go, because I love you. We had a little bit to talk about today. The angels were very adamant about that message that I gave you all throughout this. It's about really watching where you're making your choices from. That's the big one right there. That's the angel insight for this one, for this month. And there really is a lot to look forward to when you're connecting that way, and you're actually Sometimes we just have to get away from all those distractions that are throwing us into left field. And then we're getting caught up in what somebody else thinks or how they feel or what they're scared of. And that just makes you go in circles. And so we want a place where we can, it can be different than that. That's what I'm trying to say to you. When I have more, you will know. I will be putting it out on the newsletter, and it will be on the site, easy for you to find. There'll be invites to this that'll come into the newsletter. So I know everybody doesn't want a bunch of newsletters that comes through their mailbox, but that's really the best way to get connected and work with my site more, is I just want to be bringing everything home. I just want to bring it home. I want to build that more and not get caught up in all this other, oh, okay, they don't like what, and they don't like what you're doing, so it's just been weird. The Twitter sites are gone. I just got rid of them. No opinion, just I've already reduced those. I may reduce more. You might see that changing quite a bit, but just know where the website is, JennRoyster.com, if you want to be a part of all of this, because the invite will come in the newsletter. That goes to the people that are interested. There's no reason to put it out everywhere to where they're not. So what I'm calling the universe here for Law of Attraction is to draw in who actually wants this. And if you don't, you don't. That's where I'm putting the effort. Who's serious and who isn't. So with that, I just want to send you guys a lot of love and say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient with me over the last month. It was well worth the insights and the growth and what I could come here today and share with you. So I hope that you have a beautiful week, and I totally do plan to be here next week. I'm always planning to be here every week. I'm not kidding. That is the truth. Just things have been happening here that challenge us. So with that, I'm going to say I love you, and I will see you next time here on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit